XRP, this price action has been a little volatile within this range over here. And trust me when I tell you guys, it has definitely been very like they're really like testing their limits. That's a good way to put it. They're really testing their limits here because you did not want to see XRP go below this area over here. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good because the October monthly candle is bullish right here, and this is the bottom of the October monthly candle. So for us to stay bullish, we want to stay above those ranges, right? Once again, right there, very similar to Bitcoin, to where, the monthly candle is already bullish, the quarterly candle is already bullish. So we want to stay below those ranges right there. I mean, we want to stay above those ranges. We don't want to go close to them at all because then that can easily turn it bearish. So I was tracking this all week and just to make sure. And as you can see right here, these little details right here. So look, we ended up bottoming out over here. This is a pretty common bottom pattern. Ended up creating some higher lows, higher high, higher low, retest of this area, broke through these highs right here, another higher high, hit this little supply zone right here, which we already basically like put it like this. Imagine you had a sell order here, right? Or let's say you had a sell order right here. That the best time to take profits would have been right here. The fact that the market came back to that range proves that that sell order is wrong. That's a good way to look at it. So um that shows that the bulls are in control. The best trade would have been a buy order down here at these lower ranges, right? So these buyers, look now, they literally could have slept this whole weekend and would have not gotten taken out. Anybody who has buys here, here are all in profit. So you want to look at it from that perspective, and these sellers are about to get taken out. So the fact that the market did hit this supply zone right here and then came back down here, it was a bit excessive. In reality, if you take a look at, it was a bit excessive to be honest with you guys. This dropped 5% while Bitcoin, broke this high and dropped about 2%, I believe, two and a half, right? 2.48, right? 2 point anywhere, a little less than 3% basically. So this, retraced double, but these also are gonna push way harder than Bitcoin as well. So um I do believe that this is slowly accumulating here. This is a good sign. And I do believe that XRP is in the short term right here, headed towards this three above this high right here. And then we'll probably cool down there again. Same thing I did right here. It hit the supply zone, came back down, and then built a range. So we can come right here and then probably retrace right here, something like that. And then continue higher from there so we can finally hit that $4 range. I can't predict exactly what the price action is going to do. This is just what I believe. The best case is that this thing just goes like right here in a matter of a couple weeks, right? And then retraces quickly and then finally makes another all-time high and heads into price discovery. So those are just two different scenarios that can occur. And we'll just have to, sit back and let things happen how they're supposed to happen. So, we already know this is bullish. We already know this is bullish. I do not want to see this go to the downside anymore. It doesn't look like it's going to. We already got all of this. So, we got this wick over here. So everything is pointing to the upside still. In the short term, we'll probably experience a little bit of turbulence right here around 340. Probably break that high, maybe a little bit higher, and then probably come back down towards like 320 to 330, and then continue to the new all-time high. Maybe some news comes out, I don't know. I really don't know. But then we could get that momentum to these higher prices. And, let's see. Are we going to stop at 4? Are we going to stop at 450? Are we going to push straight towards, in a matter of weeks, straight towards 5? Or is price going to end up going higher? Where are we going to stop at first? That's the question I have because, we can stop anywhere between $4 to $8. So this next move is very, very important because it's gonna give us a clue as to it's gonna give us a little bit more data, a little bit more data as to, how we can end how high we can end up going. So basically if the market only stops at $4 and then just, chills over here, then, maybe we can only top out around 10 to 15. But if the market ends up going to like $5 to $10, starts chilling around 8 and sets a base over here, sets a new floor, that can give us some more steam to maybe push, anywhere between 25 to 50 or even a little bit higher. So, it definitely matters where we land next. So we are going to have to build a floor somewhere within this range. So I'm very curious to see where that floor ends up building up. For now, though, XRP looks good. Even on the little micro time frames, the price action is not bad at all. So they're definitely taking traders out. They don't want people to get in for this next move. That's another thing that I see. Like they literally are just, down to a demand zone, back up to the supply zone, back down to a demand zone, slowly back up. Like maybe they bring it back down, and then continue higher. And they're doing this with a lot of different assets. So they definitely don't want people in for the next move. The algorithm is just taking traders out before they, push these things to the next levels. All right, SHX. So SHX still on its overall trend. So last week we were roughly right here, right? So we're right here, and I did mention that, we did want to see this push through. I'm gonna show you guys through the supply zone last week, right? Well, let me see, you're right here. Okay, so we ended up getting a nice push, hit the supply zone, came back down, hit it again. And then they said, nope, let's take out these traders one more time. Whoever, has some stop losses here, they definitely took some stop losses out. And now they're going to push this higher. And I don't know if you guys remember when I did mention that the algorithm, if they didn't push us higher through here, like last week, they're likely gonna come sweep that low before they go. So that is exactly what ended up occurring. And now this hasn't changed the overall trend. Like everything is still the same. It's just accumulated a bit more. And as you guys know, when SHX wakes up, it is very aggressive. So I can definitely finally see this breaking as well within the next couple of weeks. I could definitely see this breaking within the next couple of weeks, and we should easily be over 2 cents, before October ends at this point. It's still early in the month, but we're holding up pretty good and we're getting movement elsewhere. So I definitely see this eventually catching up and joining the party. All right, Velo. So this ended up coming back down here, sweeping the low. Did it again, came back down, did like a little demand, or swept the low again. So yeah, this one is literally like not really still within this overall accumulation range. Now, I do believe that, we're gonna get a move out of here. I am curious to see where that pushes us to though. So I do want to see Velo, in 1 week at a minimum, and I'm talking about within the next few weeks, within the next couple of months. I want to see this back over 2.5 cents because 2.5 cents would be like right here. And yeah, look at these highs. We want to see price push through these highs. And do you guys see like this type of price action right here where the market pushes higher and then retraces and then pushes higher and then retraces and it keeps doing that. And look, it did it over here too. Push higher, retrace, push higher. Well, that just takes a lot of time, and that's what they ended up doing with Velo and with a lot of other assets. But once they're ready to put the prices higher, they don't do that anymore. they'll do one big candle to the upside, then they'll do like a little bearish candle, higher low, and then they continue the overall trend. So, this one is one that I do believe the fact that it's been in this accumulation range for so long and slowly gearing higher. If you really take a close look at it, it's slowly gearing higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. It's still respecting these lows. So eventually it is gonna get a nice push out of this range. I just want to see where it's gonna push us. I do want to see this push, over 5 cents on this next push towards these ranges, and then it will likely cool down there. And hopefully this could happen within the next couple of months so that we can get out of this range because we've been in this range way too long. And I do believe something is coming since a lot of other assets are waking up. So, that is still a possibility. But for now, this is literally just, it's still awake. It's not just falling, right? It's not pumping, but it's not falling. So you can't ignore that. People want to see, bullish candles, right? But a positive thing is the fact that the market is not just trending to the downside, like down here, is still very positive, which is why I still hold it. I'm telling you guys, if I would have seen something different, I would have got rid of it. Like I've done many other coins for you, those of you who've been, in here for a while, you've seen I get rid of stuff for the most part, especially if I see that most of the asset already had like, some upside and I haven't been seeing nothing, I'll just move it to something else. So Velo is one of those that I do still see it has potential, and it is a wild card, but I do believe it's gonna surprise many. So yeah, we'll see what we could get in the next few weeks as certain assets start to wake up, and let's see if we can finally push over this 2.5 cent range in the coming weeks or months. So then we can probably cool down here for a bit and then continue higher.